Hey everyone, Mrhappy here, and welcome to Mondays with Mrhappy, aka Mrhappy Mondays. Almost forgot my intro right there somehow, probably because I'm playing Opera Omnia at the same time. But it's a Q&A show where you ask me questions, I answer them. So before we get into the Q&A, two things, I guess three things technically. One, this week, sponsored Opera Omnia stream on Monday. Tuesday, we're going to be playing through 15. So if you're someone who's curious about 15 and how it runs on PC, we're going to be doing that playthrough this week, as well as State of the Realm, as well as Raid Night on Tuesday. Tuesday's basically going to be a super busy day, and the rest of the week's going to be a bunch of 15 streaming. Probably going to be some 15 videos popping up on the channel this week as well, depending on what I really want to do with that. I'm probably going to do something on the new Comrades bosses, something on the new stuff in Chapter 14, and then maybe some additional guides for stuff I didn't do back in the day. But anyway, other than that, I want to do the sponsor list at the top of the stream today, just because I have a feeling, I don't know, I have this feeling on the inside that I'm going to forget. I know it's not a great feeling to have, but I'd rather do it at the top of the stream and not take that chance, and instead of doing it at the end of the video / stream and maybe having a chance. So anyway, thank you to our weekly sponsors who help combat hashtag demonetize over here on YubTubs. Sometimes videos I say bad words, they get demonetized. I'm gonna tell you, it's actually not been as bad recently. I still have had to, you know, fix certain videos, but I guess their AI or whatever the heck is actually learning at a decent rate now. Because if I look at my YouTube videos, and I'm just letting you sponsors know this since you guys are the ones that that handle this. I look at my videos for the past week or so, and not a single one was flagged. I mean, there's the Opera Omnia, there's the Versus video, there's the Silk Road video, there's State of the Realm. Even State of the Realm didn't get it this week, so I don't know. Maybe they're doing something with it on the back end that I don't know about, but it's been really good this last week. So anyway, let's thank our sponsors. I'll thank the Patron of Light first. The Patron of Light. It's not Bane, it's just me doing a terrible god voice. Khuja Cross of the Jenova server, again, editing in an image right here as I work on my auto battles down here. Setting up the next one on Opera Omnia. Yeah, but the image, thank you for being the Patron of Light, one that stands above the rest to fight hashtag demonetized. It's much appreciated, so thank you. And we have our standard sponsors. We have Sidus Oreo on Shiva, Syd Hellwind of Gilgamesh, Afro Ninja from Malboro, Cheesecake from Leviathan, Sploda. That Lame Weeb, Ashen Emiya of Cerberus, Argoti Tristam of Midgardsormr, Fafarian, Rendil, Giraffeswillrule, Stevie-Rex, and Neon. We have our elite sponsors, Kifka and the Great Eagles on Exodus, Dark Graver, Katayoshi, Skia Symphonia from Ragnarok, Rah Xephon from Exodus, Rynoet Westos the Purple Warrior, Yadric Redsteel on Exodus, a lot of Exodus here, Lexxie Valentine, Mantaru the Rivivus FC from Zodiark, Cybercrime Tribes from Jenova, Rynoet Chikara, Goetia Valfer, Hirschfirst of Fairy, Phoenix Down Free Company on Goblin, and Saren from Zodiark. Also, we have our premium sponsors. We have Holy Tabasco. We have Nyrek Vizsla of Azure Infinitum FC. We have Redthorn Asura. We have Kurenai Oni. We have Askin Hawk from Shiva. We have Oscar, Crass, Mustang. The Serenity FC on Ultros. Kat Kazuma. Kiryoshi and the Reckless Tea Party on Cactar. Ignis Farragon from the Diablo server. Velestra of Famfrit. Noct Cordis from Excalibur. Krovos Moonscar. Nakanayami of Balmung. Johnny Odin of Tonberry. Private Mikey. No, that name's not there anymore. They told me to take it off, because it's been inaccurate, apparently. Spike, Nadia Kurosame, Rudy Rudiger, Tin Colossus, Killer Hackman, Raul Jr., Ramil Gaming, and Kiltastic Jones. Auto battling right now. There you go. But anyway, thank you to all our sponsors. Let's get into the Q&A, shall we? First question over on the forums. Hey, Mrhappy, have a bonus of sniffing some HQ smelling salts on those sleepy raid nights. Sounds like a bad idea. Sounds like a bad idea. Is it easy to hold enmity now, or tanks even tanks anymore? I don't even think that question has anything to do with enmity. If you actually go into tank stance and you somehow still lose enmity, there better be a massive difference in item level, or you better be like the worst tank ever. Because I can't think of any reason why you'd lose enmity if you were trying that hard. Nowadays, it's more about how well can you hold enmity and output DPS. That's a much more valuable trait nowadays. It's maximizing enmity while minimizing time spent actually going out of your way to generate it. So yeah, tanks are still the target of attacks. They're still the ones with the ability to survive everything, but it's not so much about just holding enmity anymore. It is a lot about that integrated DPS into your enmity generation. And you know what? If your DPS is really good, your enmity generation's better. Well, it's better in regards to what it would be. If your DPS was shit and you were in Sword Oath, it'd be worse than if your DPS is good in Sword Oath. And then Shield Oath is just there. All right, question number 2. Hello, mister. Hello. Have a cookie. Nom. The console beta for Terra is coming in a few weeks. Yeah, I heard about that. I honestly thought it was already here. I mean, like a while ago. I remember hearing so many people talking about it. Have you played Terra? No. Like, Terra came out when like so many action MMOs are coming out, and I was just like, I can't do it. There's too many action MMOs all trying to come out at the same time. I can't do it. I don't have any opinion of it. I've heard some people who really enjoy it. I've heard some people who played it when it was a more, like, I guess, an actual thing that was new, because now it's like console new, but it's like been out for a really long time. So I always heard like mixed to good things, but I don't have an opinion of my own. No more Windows PC, so I can't try that. Okay. For this next question, I'm not sure if this is the place to ask, but I'm not sure how else to get a hold of you. I remember a while back you did a video on East Origins. Yeah, it was a sponsored video. I went back to that video and I clicked the link you had in the description. It took me to the PlayStation Store where you can buy it. If I buy it from there using the link you provided, does that do anything for you? Would I be interested in getting it and helping you out? So that was a sponsored video. You've probably seen a handful of those on my channel. I did a Silk Road one this last week. East was another one. And I've done the Opera Omnia videos and other things. Generally, whenever I have a sponsored video, if there is a link in the description, it's usually read something like, this video is sponsored by name. If you want to check it out, click here. That link is basically, it's almost always used for tracking the number of people who actually use the link, which is how you can, in terms of what I do for a living, return on investment. You know, you pay for a sponsored video. That's what sponsored means. You're paid to make that content for your channel, with any sort of caveats that may be. Maybe it's like the first chapter of a game. Maybe it's, you know, your thoughts on it. Maybe it's a guide, whatever. But that link is always there. It doesn't actually, like, I don't get a portion of that, but it's used as a tracking link. So if you ever see a sponsored video that has a link like that, it's almost always a tracking link. True story, I actually didn't have one for most of my Opera Omnia videos, but now I actually have one. So I should actually go back to the old Opera Omnia videos and replace those old ones out, because those ones weren't tracking properly. So that answers your question in a yes and an explanation kind of way. Number 3. Hey, Mr. Happy. Taha here. I want to give you a plate of biryani as a first. I almost ordered biryani the other day, like chicken over, like a chicken biryani or something. I don't know. I want biryani. I want chicken and rice, or I want biryani rice. I want rice. I want a rice dish. I'm just craving it. The question was, do you think they will have a 15 or NT event in 14 for Glamours? Not Dissidia NT. 15 they keep saying they're working on, and we haven't seen anything of it yet. But I'm still holding out that there will be one. Just who the hell knows when it's actually going to be. It's probably going to be something along the lines of what we had for the Lightning event. But yeah, I don't know. I'm surprised we haven't had it yet. But that's the question. Attaches a picture of a first-time bonus dish I took for you. I don't see the attachment, so that's unfortunate. But thanks, all the same. Question number 4. Hello, Mr. Happy. First-time asker, but long-time viewer. So I have a bonus of being able to just take every piece of gear you want from Eureka and not have to do any grinding. You know, it's funny. I don't want that. Thank you, but I don't want it, because then what was the point of waiting for it to release in the first place? You know what I mean? You know? You know. All right. My question for you is group related. Recently, some members from my FC have been banding together to clear harder content, which is nice. No matter how much teaching we do or how much we keep trying, we can never get to clear. Less nice. About 5 out of the 8 of us have been getting cleared and progressing on the Savages this year, but the remaining 3 never seem to get it. I'm getting discouraged because they are my friends, yet even being blunt to them, they don't seem to understand how to get good. Any advice on what to do? I think this is one of those cases, or at least you make it sound like that. I don't know the exact extent of what this teaching has been like. So I'll just put it this way. Some people just can't be helped. And it's not their fault. You know, some people just, they just don't process the information the same way as other people do, or they're not invested enough to go out of their way to learn something. And these are kind of the situations where you learn who is actually dedicated to the idea of improving, who is capable of improving, and anywhere in between. So I don't think there is anything you can do. They either just learn it or they don't. You telling them things or trying to teach mechanics, or maybe you should throw them on that motorcycle that just passed by, and that'll scare the shit out of them. Sometimes you just can't help people. Sometimes they need to help themselves. It's a case where it doesn't sound like they can or want to. So my advice, unfortunately, is teach a different 3 people if you're doing this learning thing. So unfortunate answer, but it's what it is. Number 5. Hey, Happy. I'll try to keep this as short as possible. Look who you're talking to. Doesn't matter. I was watching one of these guys on YouTube, and after it was over, for some reason, I ended up on the turn 5 guide. Decided to watch it for the lulz and notice how differently the game plays now versus then. And the guide I saw a POV from Miyuni playing White Mage, doing almost all healing and little, if any, DPS, and tank staying in tank stance. Obviously, that was the times then, and everything is a lot different now. My question is, if you were to take turn 5, 9, and 13 solely based off mechanic difficulty alone, where would you place them individually in a current raid tier? Example, if turn 5 released today, it would be around the 3rd floor encounter, etc. Keep up the good work and many thanks. So that's kind of a tough thing to do because I don't have a normal experience with turn 5. Turn 5 is 2 months of disaster. The fight wasn't even available for several weeks. The game had 300 ms latency. Like, ugh. I mean, you kind of look at Ultimate and they kind of place them in the right order. I mean, turn 13 for me is easier than turn 9. So placing them in a raid tier, I don't know. Turn 5 is still harder than a 5 and a 6, but it's way easier than a Guardian, for example. Like, it would have to be like, for me, if you put Twin Tiny in the game now, it's like difficulties way below Guardian, but still above 06, Chaddernook. And then you take Nail, and for me, Nail, if I look at Nail now, I mean, Nail would still pass as a final fight for me, in my opinion. And same with Bahamut, he would pass, but I don't find Bahamut as mechanically difficult as Nail. So, and I'm, again, for anyone who's not 100% paying attention, we're not talking about Ultimate, we're talking about the OGs. So, I don't know, turn 9 for me, it would have been the most difficult of the 3. Turn 5, way at the bottom. And turn 13, somewhere in between, close to turn 9, but just not as mechanically difficult. Really more about Bahamut's raw strength, which is a thing I felt like they captured pretty well. But all of them around, if not above 3. I guess I'll say turn 5 below 3, below the 3rd encounter, and both the other ones could qualify as final encounters. We'll go with that. Number 6, hello, Mr. Happy. I hope you're doing good. This is my first time asking, so I hope you don't mind me asking more than one question. I'll try not to make them long. I see you didn't successfully do that. Just looking at how much text is on my screen. I see you tried. You may or may not have been successful. We'll see. So I'm pretty sure it's only been 5 weeks since Sigmascape came out. I haven't missed a week and I only have 5 Crystalloids yet. I see people with their weapons already, which cross 7. When you clear Sigmascape V2 on Savage, or 06 Savage as the community calls it, you get the item. You get the Tombstone item from that, the one that you would spend 7 Crystalloids on. If you're a raider, you get access to those weapons and everything much faster than waiting for Crystalloids. Same with getting a 370 weapon. If you're not a raider, you'll have to wait until 4.3 comes around with the 24-mans, but if you are a raider, you can have the 370 or the 375 weapon. So yeah, it's because the item that you get with 7 Crystalloids drops in 06 Savage as well. Second question, I know this will probably never happen, but I want to see what you think about it. I haven't gotten one of these in a while. Generally, what you think questions are really awkward for me because what I think is mostly, I guess, irrelevant. In my opinion, my opinion's irrelevant. It's like, I know it sounds stupid for a Q&A, but like, I don't ever have good answers for these because a lot of the times there's so many ifs and so many what ifs that I can never really answer it based on the current state of the game. So let me see. If there were 3 types of limit breaks being attack, defense, and support for each role, I can already see looking down. So I can already tell you that this would only work if we only had a single LB gauge, period. Or if every individual person had their own LB, what's it called? PvP. And even then, at that point, you might as well not even be an LB. It might as well just be a skill with a long cooldown, and it shares a cooldown with 2 others. So, meh. I don't think the idea works unless you completely restructure. You wouldn't even just have to restructure the way the limit breaks work. You'd have to restructure the way content works, the way that all the jobs function, because then you need to factor this in. Then stuff like this becomes mandatory. It doesn't become something that, you know, you have as an option anymore. All of this stuff, because I can see you list like, you know, tanks can stun a target. Most stuns are immune to target, or stun a stun immune target. Well, then what mechanics are you going to skip every single time? Because if this allows you to stun a stun immune target, then you literally will always use it to skip a mechanic. You know what I mean? But then you can't make this a tier 3 LB because I don't know, like these are the kind of things that don't really function in the way our game is designed. You know, I just look at them all and I go meh, you know, just there are things that could work as individual job skills. But even then, you still have to have a cap on it. You can't do stuff like stun a stun immune target. They're stun immune for a reason. And then attack style things. I mean, I don't know. It's just trying to repurpose, because it looks like, for me, creating this many different limit break effects, ultimately, one or two of them's the best in any given situation. You know, do I need to survive something? Tank one's the best. You're never going to take an attack type LB on a tank when you could just do more damage with the DPS one. You know what I mean? And with support type, you're never going to try to... You can stun a stun immune target. That's all you're ever going to do. You're never going to use anything else, because skipping mechanics is what we fucking do best, Skipsor. And then same, you know... And then the DPS using the limit bar to restore MP or TP. Like, things like that don't... We already do that with the way our jobs function. And adding a limit break for it, to me, just... It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense with the way our game works. And honestly, even if you retooled a lot of it, you couldn't just retool limit break. You'd have to retool the entire game. So for me, all of this is just like... This is what I mean by, like, what do you think? I think it's not possible, not probable, not ever going to happen. But sooner see limit breaks removed altogether than see them reworked into this. Question number 7. Hi, Mr. Happy. Hello. We know that Garlemald is heavily inspired by the Roman Empire. What do you think about the idea that the Ascians are running a very long game strategy where they build up Garlemald as a single world superpower, then lead it to ruin in order to usher in Highland Stargate? I mean, that's right up. You don't even have to compare them to the Roman Empire. That's just what the Ascians do. The Ascians are always going to help someone if it's going to help bring them a rejoining. That's the only reason an Ascian's ever helping anybody. So, I mean, you don't even have to compare it to Rome. That's what they're doing. They're trying to create conflict. That's what they're doing. They don't even want to crush Garlemald. They just want Garlemald to create conflict for them. That's all they want. And that's what they're getting. So, you know, Ascians are assholians. Number 8. Hey there, Happy. How you doing? I'm doing alright. You doing alright? I'm doing alright. We were about half a year, first time asker. So I have a bonus of Eureka being released on time and lording it over. No, I don't want it to release on time. I'm glad that it's March 13th and not the 6th. Because it means that I can enjoy 15 for a week on PC and then go do this, and I don't have to worry about the more. I don't know. No. I don't want to lord it over Sly. I don't want it. All right. What do you think? What do you think would be quieter? The traffic during your streams or being in Eorzea during an S rank pull? Well, being in Eorzea during an S rank pull, I play with game sounds off. So for me, that easily. 2, as a longtime player, do you keep in touch with the differences between newer and older players? For example, newer players who do command missions to level Realm Reborn secondary jobs as a judgment-free solo alternative to the roulette Palace of the Dead spam and doing diadem just enough to get a white Pegasus Mountain minions. Who does diadem? What? Nobody does that. Anyway, and so does it affect your content creation at all? No. There's a way for things to be done, and then there's alternative ways. That's just the way it is in MMO. There's always a way that's best and a way that's alternative. Also, a newer player using that for, I guess, yeah, secondary jobs. Okay, yeah, you did say secondary jobs. I was gonna say the squadron thing doesn't work for newer players unless they actually go out of their way to unlock their squadrons, which I'm not gonna lie, a lot of newer players don't, and then you don't really have it as an option. So yeah. Anyway, no, it doesn't affect it at all, because it's going to change over time anyway. Everything's going to be rendered obsolete at some point. Like, a guide's going to be rendered obsolete when, you know, the next raid tier comes out, and then if people are going back and skipping entire mechanics, what are you going to do, right? So, no, it doesn't affect it at all. You make content for the time being, and then sometimes you go back and look at what's different and make something that's updated, and that's the end of it. But, good question. Number 9. Hello there, Mr. Happy. Have a bonus of a basket full of peaches. Dude, I love peaches. Like, jokes about peaches aside, I fucking love peaches. With that being said, we have apples, we have oranges, and we have grapes. But since that fateful day in 2015, we still do not have any form of peaches. Do we finally add peaches for this guy, or do we say, fuck you, you're stupid, no peaches for you? No, we were told we'd get peaches. If I'm going to have my time wasted to have the question asked in the first place, and they say, please look forward to it, I want some goddamn peaches to know that my brain cells weren't wasted during that live letter. Or, was it a live letter? Yeah, the Q&A at PAX. That's what it was. Also, do you have any peaches questions? Any small or stupid thing you'd like done? I have selfish questions. I don't consider them peach questions. Like, for example, can Riddle of Earth on Monk please actually execute its effect even if I take 0 damage? Meaning, can I refresh my Grease Lightning even if I have a crit Adlo and I have Riddle of Earth on? Please. I'll take that over like half the shit they've done to Monk, except for Brotherhood and PB. I'll keep those. For me, it would be, why is the icon for green gear only half filled green when pink gear gets its icon filled fully? I'm colorblind, so I can't even level with you on that one. But I get it. That's kind of a Peaches question. I can respect how that's a Peach's question. Number 10. Good day to you, Happy. Thank you for answering my question last week. Really appreciate it. No problem. This has probably been asked before, but if you had to change your main rating role, would you choose tank or healer? Tank. Definitely tank. I don't trust myself as a healer. Like, I'll heal pug content, but pug healing seriously. Here's the thing. A lot of the time I'm doing content, I'm streaming. When I'm streaming, some of my attention goes to the chat. That can't really happen when I'm healing seriously. Or at least maybe it could if I was more practiced on it, but I probably wouldn't want to, and I wouldn't want to suffer. Tank is whatever. Like, I memorize fights, like, after the first time through. Maybe forget a detail here and there, but I remember it, like, while I'm doing the fight. So, like, remembering when I need to cool down, remembering, you know, doing whatever rotation is the most basic thing. Like, that I have no problem with. Moving the boss, you know, like, that, I can still do that as a streamer reasonably. So it would definitely be tank and definitely not healer. But I'm a little more interested in healers because I feel like I have more control over saving the run as a healer. But again, that works for pug content more so than serious raid content, where I don't think me being on a healer would save anything. All right, next question. Hey, Haps, feels so good to be able to play the game again. Nice, nice. So we have a mount question, one quality of life change for 14 I'd like to see, and a black mage question I definitely asked before. Well, I'm not a black mage, so I'm a waste of breath when it comes to answering that question. So I'll take one large quality of life change. Wouldn't it be cool if you could see on the item card of collectibles if you have the item already or not? Can you not see that on collectibles? Oh, I get what you're saying. Oh, when you say collectibles, you don't mean crafted collectibles. You mean items that are collectible. You mean like collector's items, like Orchestrion Rolls, Triple Triad cards. Okay. I get what you mean, because once you've used the card and it's in your menus, like you have the card registered, you have the Orchestrion Roll, it doesn't tell you that you already have it until you try rolling on it. It's a really minor quality of life thing, because as soon as you try to roll on it, it'll tell you, dude, fuck off, you already have this. Well, actually, that's not true with Orchestrion Rolls. That's true with certain items, not with Orchestrion Rolls, but, yeah, I guess, you know what? If it's an item you can roll on again, like Orchestrion Rolls, yes, I think that's a good idea. For something like a Triple Triad card, the game's gonna... No, actually, it doesn't tell you to fuck off with those either. I'm only thinking of, like, the minions and, like, certain... Yeah, just really just minions and non-exclusive mounts. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure, fuck it. Yeah, I would like this. It lets you know if you already have it. Yeah, I don't see the harm. If it says claimed or something somewhere, it's loading that extra text for everyone is probably a fucking data nightmare. But yeah, no, I don't know why I thought that it did that already. It only does that for the minions you can get from dungeons that can't be sold, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know I've gone in and I've tried rolling on shit and it tells me, no, you can't do this anymore. Yeah, because cards can be traded for MGP and Orchestrions and stuff. It depends. You have to not be able to sell it, pretty much. If you can't sell it, it'll give you that message. But if you can sell it, it does. Yeah, no, I like this. Yeah, just like a little claimed thing or something somewhere. Yeah. Number 12. Hey, oh, Heps. It's late on this one. It's before I'm done. So, oh, that was earlier today. Sweet. So the dev said something about making some DPS match its job concept. They were specifically talking about Samurai, which means they're going to buff potencies. Oh, Sam's DPS, not some DPS. Idiot Haps, yes. Well, if I remember correctly, they mentioned not too long ago they are hitting the point where they can't just keep buffing damage on jobs, since if we do, we will outscale the fight. So do you think they're just going to buff Samurai and we'll see them nerf everyone else? Honestly, I think they over-buffed everyone else. So as much as that, to me, is the more logical solution, is to nerf everyone else, nobody wants to see a patch where it's like nerf after nerf after nerf. No one wants to see it. No one will be happy about it. So I think they've got a little bit of... They said they're almost there. They're getting to that point. I think that this is the final point they can push it to. It's whatever they push Samurai to is what they're going to have to push it to altogether. So I think it will be a potency buff. I think that I would expect them to change other things about the job that reduces the skill gap. One of the things about Samurai is the reason why raid utility is so valuable is not just because it assists your teammates. It's because if anything happens to you on that job, if you die, if you get hit by damage down, if maybe you're just not that proficient at the job, you're not 100% proficient, which is most people. You know, even like higher tier players aren't always 100% efficient at what they're doing. So, but what happens is to make up for that difference, at least you're doing something for the rest of your party. on a samurai, if you are anything but perfect on that job, you are, comparatively to other people who may be at similar skill levels but have job utilities, you are effectively useless. If you are doing 1,000 DPS under what would be considered, I guess, 100% effort, and you're not offering everything else to everyone else on your team, you are effectively at a point where you're useless. You need a high level of proficiency to make up for the fact that you are fucking up, or that you don't have anything to offer in the case that you do fuck up. So that's just kind of how it is, you know? You need that. That's why raid utility is so valuable. It's not because it's a non-selfish thing. It's because if you fuck up, you're still doing something. Or if you're not 100% proficient, you're still worth something. Samurais, if you aren't, you're fucking worthless. It's a little bit of hyperbole, but it's also true from a design standpoint. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the last potency buff you're going to see in this expansion, and it's going to be on the samurais. So, yeah. On that note, number 13. Hey, Mr. Happy. Hope you're finding the day well. I am. It's been a good day. With the Max issue, people have speculated that the reason it has stayed around so long is the bug team didn't think of trying to use /AC. I'm going through previous reports, and the previous bug report that was hidden explicitly spelled the method out. So how much information should a player provide when they want a bug to be fixed? Where's the line drawn between the bug reporter and the team that passes the information to the programmers? The line is drawn when the bug report is in and clearly states how to replicate it, and no further effort is made. At that point, that's no longer on the bug reporter. I don't care if it comes down to a template issue. I don't care if it comes down to just an ignorance issue. I don't care. It's on the GM at that point. The GM who was responsible in that one specific case. So bug reporter's job is to try and put it in the format that makes it reportable, which, by the way, at this point, it shouldn't even be on the forums. It should just be a template that you fill in like it is in the game. You know, where it's, you know, your name, your character name. Like, don't make it be something we have to copy paste. Just make it so there's a bug report section that goes to the GMs that automatically formats the whole. There's no reason that a fuck up in formatting should be the reason why a bug slips through. There's ways to prevent that, like forcing a format so that there's no other way it can be submitted. I don't know how we haven't gotten to that point yet. I really don't. It just makes perfect sense to have it that way. And if the bug reporter is as specific as you're saying, then it's on the GM. That's it. That's all there is to it. Number 14. Hey, Haps. How you doing? Rajan Prismind here. Hey, how you doing? Answer in need bonus. A fitness coach for Aloha. Yeah, he gained half a pound. Even though we've been feeding him less calories, motherfucker gained half. What I'm going to do now with Aloha is I'm going to put food in his bowl, because I actually have to go feed him after I'm done with this Q&A. And I'm going to just walk up and down the stairs and make him follow me. Because he'll follow me as long as I have food in the bowl. That's how I'm going to force that little fucker to get some exercise. On top of the fact we got to probably cut back on his food. Even though he's eating the same amount of calories, he always has. He gained half a pound. Maybe it's winter. I don't know. But either way, that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, so should have asked this question a month ago, but you did the caster versus. I need to bring this up. Why can't Black Mage and Red Mage have a reasonable auto attack? Summoner has constant auto attack in their Eggy, basically making a melee DPS when using Ifrit or slow range DPS when using Garuda. Red Mage has a sword, does no damage when in range. It just bothers me that the other casters could have something to contribute a little more. It's all about the type of jobs they are. Summoner as a job from concept has always been about several sources of small damage and windows of big damage. And even those windows of big damage are momentary. You know, Death Flare or Akmorn. You know, those are windows where your damage is hitting in one big burst. But the rest of your DPS is like this pathetic potency ruin, or I mean, it's gotten better and then nerfed and all that kind of shit. You know, 2 damage over time spells, your Shadow Flares, which tick every few seconds, the auto attack from your pet, which ticks every few seconds, plus any abilities they may have that ticks every few. It's all a bunch of tiny sources. That's just the way the job functions that add up. The other 2 jobs aren't designed with that philosophy in mind. The Black Mage is designed where their damage is huge on every individual cast. Their potencies individually per cast are insanely high. And that's the way that they're designed to be done. So you need to keep that in mind whenever you're wondering about things like that. Could they have them? Totally. Does it match the design idea of the job? No, I do agree that Red Mage having a sword and the auto attack being pathetic is a little bit, it's not a sword per se, but it's a fucking sword. All right. I'm not getting into the whole specifics of what the Red Mage sword actually is, but I agree with you there at the very least, but it's just about the way the jobs are designed to function. That is the primary key factor. Red Mage is so not about damage over time. They actually have none. So yeah, that's it. All right, and the final question. Hello, Mr. Happy. Enjoy a first-time bonus of a Spidey sense that helps you find the nearest hunt spawn. I like that. Some people use those, and they're called hacks, and I don't think mine would be allowed. I don't think me having a Spidey sense, doesn't really qualify as a hack, but there's some people out there that hunt with a Spidey sense, and they're cheaters. But anyway, my question is, I believe, well, not if you use the ACT thing. I mean, like, actual hacks. The ACT thing is fine. My question, I believe A4 Savage didn't drop a 215 weapon. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. They admitted they fucked up on that front. Why was this the case? They actually, so when they were talking about, they did at a live letter, like a whole description about what they fucked up at the beginning of Heavensward. It was a really good live letter to watch because they just, all it was, hey, we fucked up in all these different places. Like, in terms of difficulty, in terms of loot, like, we left no room for upgrades here because we didn't increase the item level because it was so difficult, blah, blah, blah. They actually did explain it. I don't remember which live letter it was, but they explained it, and I don't want to say what I think it was that they said without saying it. I only remember them talking about how they effectively destroyed the raid scene with the difficulty and the gear checks that were in there. And then eventually that they had a hard time making a proper anima step for the anima step that brought it to item level 210. Because it was being compared to A4 Savage weapons, and they didn't want to invalidate the A4 Savage effort because of its difficulty, but at the same, so they tried to make the grind extra tedious on the 210 anima weapon. I just remember that in the explanation. I don't remember what they said about why they didn't actually do a 210 weapon. But I remember, like, this isn't the first time that they haven't done it. They actually did it back in turn 5, and they raised its item level a patch later. So, I don't know. They fucked up. They admitted they fucked up, and they never did it again. So I'm cool with that. And then it was, do they feel guilty adding a high-level weapon to a super hard fight? No. In fact, that's you know, they just fucked up. That's all it is. They just fucked up, and they admitted it. So, yeah, that's all there is to it. All right. So, yeah, with that out of the way, I think we can take some Twitch questions. Not a very inspiring answer from me on that last one, but it is what it is. So with that, we can take some Twitch questions. Let's see what you got, Twitch chat. Let's see if it's any good. So I've got a question I want to include in the video here. As you can tell, it's already making me laugh. What mechanic would you like removed from the game the most, and why is it abandonment? Kappa. It's funny because abandonment as a mechanic is not the problem. But when I think of 07 Savage, there should never be, with the way our game functions, a combination of a mechanic that punishes you for not standing near people and a knockback mechanic. Because the way our game handles it is not everyone is knocked back simultaneously sometimes. So if you get a server tick in the split second where you're not standing next to each other, you're fucked for basically nothing you can do. So actually, it's not abandonment I would ever have removed, but I would never combine abandonment with a knockback in which the players have no control just based on the game. I wanted to add it to the video because it made me laugh, but not abandonment, just that specific combination of abandonment plus knockback I would never do again. Alright, so that was like the only question I saw. I actually had a bunch of discussions and conversations with stuff, but none of it was really, it's stuff that I talk about or I've answered questions for a million times here on Mondays with Mr. Happy before. So that's going to be a wrap for Mondays with Mr. Happy. Thank you everyone for joining me live. I'm going to be hanging out with the live chat for a few more minutes after the recording is done. And thank you all of you on YouTube. Thank you again to our sponsors for supporting every week, and be on the lookout for some more Opera Omnia and some Final Fantasy 15 stuff coming this week. But anyway, I will see you all next week. If you have a question, be sure to throw it in the forums that are in the description of the YouTube video. Twitch chat, just go to Dream Network's website and find my forum thread, or wait for the YouTube video to come out and find it there. Also, if you want to ask your questions live, even if it's a question that doesn't get included in the show, I record these on Sundays at about 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're available and you come by the Twitch stream, then you can also participate there after I'm done with the forum questions. But anyway, I will see all of you next week for the next episode of Mondays with Mr. Happy, and Twitch chat, I'll hang out for a few more minutes. Thank you, and until next time, take care.